Let's get Matthew chapter 26, verse 41.
The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation.
So the Bible says for us to watch and pray. Watch what? Look at the prophecy and align it up with the geopolitical events, the things the current events, and the everyday news articles that we see, things that's going on throughout the world. So you have to watch, line the prophecies up with the current events to see where we are in God's timeline. That before what?
That ye enter not into temptation.
That ye enter not into temptation. Because if you're watching and you're looking at the prophecies to see where are we in God's timeline, because the prophecies are moving within chronological order. And you're going to see, okay, we're starting to see civil unrest. The talks about and rumors about civil war happening. Jeremiah spoke about it. Jesus Christ talked about it. We're in a time of prophecy where there's going to be civil unrest between the states, the governors, the mayors, and the brink of civil war. Knowing that we're in civil war, the persecution is next. So what we have to do to prepare ourselves that we don't fall into temptation. The prophecies talk about some of you are going to fall out. You're going to be tempted and seduced by certain spirits such as Catholicism, Christianity. They're going to cut off your bank account, your means to provide, your education, your jobs, your living situations. Your house is going to be taken from you. And some of you are going to get tempted and you're going to go back into Christianity in order to maintain the state of this world when you know that this whole atmosphere that's being formed is a test. So watch and pray that you fall not into temptation, my brothers and sisters, and pray that the Lord strengthen you. But let's get Psalm chapter 55, verse 20, because today, in today's news, I would say it's been happening. It was announced a couple weeks ago concerning President Trump's peace board, or board of peace. President Trump, board of peace. Let's get Psalm chapter 55, verse 20. One thing about America's history is America, when they first landed in Plymouth Rock, when they came as the Pilgrims, and they made different treaties or covenants with the Native American Indians, we all know through world history that America has not acknowledged or honored one covenant, even though they were the legal aliens or the invaders that came to this country, massacre and genocide, and stole land from the North American Indians, massacre and genocide under the banner of the conquistadors, and slaughtered those in Mexico, the Aztecs, the Mayans, as well as the Incas. Took the lands, took the resources to this day. Come on.
Psalm chapter 55, verse 20.
Read.
He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace.
The North American Indians were at peace with America. You have the Mexicans, the Mayans, the Incas, all of the native tribes and inhabitants of the Americas were all at peace with America. And not only that, you have what is called a Nakba. When Israel decided that they wanted to take a piece of the land because of the war, I would say the so-called Holocaust, I'll say so-called, because, yes, there's rumors, there's speculations that it's not what they say it is. And there's something called the Nakba, where the Israeli was placed by the League of Nations or the British government in the land, and the Palestinians, I'll say peacefully, welcomed them into the land because of the atrocities and the genocide that would occur with them, called the so-called Holocaust. And what did they do? They allowed them in, and just like they did to the Native American Indians, just like they did to the Mexicans, the Mayans, the Incas, they killed them. Read that again.
He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
You had the North American Indians, the Mayans, the Incas were at peace. Also, the Palestinians were at peace with America, or the Europeans. Come on.
He hath broken his covenant.
And they broke the covenant, because the covenant is that for them to live in peace and harmony amongst them, to get resources in order for them to survive, to utilize Israel as a place of refuge from the Holocaust and atrocities done to them by Germany. Come on.
Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words in his mouth were smoother than butter. Brother, we could coincide and live peacefully with each other. We could trade with one another. We could coexist with each other. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. We could bring democracy. We could bring Christianity. We could bring Roman Catholicism. We could bring the world together. Come on.
But war was in his heart.
Just like they slaughtered the North American Indians, they came with the peace treaties. War was in their heart. In Palestine, the Nakba, war was in their heart. Today, the war is still in their heart. Come on.
His words were in oil. Yet were they drawn swords.
Yet were they drawn swords. And we're seeing today with the Palestinians, with just many countries, they keep on making the same mistake when the Bible never trust thy enemies. And we have over and over and over and countless times trusting the white man, thinking that he is a nice little good old country going Christian boy, singing that old good country song, but not knowing there was a devil in a red suit behind him.
That's
there was
right.
a wolf in sheep clothing, hiding in a mist, waiting to devour and destroy. Now let's get the first video. The Board of Peace. And what is it? The first video.
Countries that are part of President Trump's newly formed
Nope,
Board of
that's not
Peace
it.
also prepare.
Who was joining Donald Trump's Board of Peace? That one. You got that? Yep.
Everybody wants to be a part of it. Well, this is a very exciting day.
Read it. Let's go back to it. Let's read it.
Run that
Go
back
back.
real quick.
Can we run it back? Come on.
Everybody wants to be a part of it. Well, this is a
Who
very
is
exciting
joining
day.
Donald Trump's Board of Peace? U.S. President Donald Trump has invited dozens of countries to join his Board of Peace, an international organization that seeks to resolve global conflicts. I was moving too fast. I gotta pause it. Come on, y'all. Multiple Middle Eastern countries have already accepted the invitation, such as the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Qatar, Bahrain, and Pakistan. Other countries, including Belarus, Turkey, Hungary, and Morocco, have also accepted. Russian President Vladimir Putin hasn't officially accepted, but he said he could pay the $1 billion price set by Trump for a permanent seat in the organization. Trump is struggling to attract Western allies as world leaders, diplomats, and experts. Raised concerns that the Board of Peace could undermine the work of the United Nations. Following Trump's remarks that the board might replace the UN. France and Norway have rejected the invitation, while Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky declined, saying it's difficult to be together with Russia in any council. Other nations, including China and Italy, have not committed either way. The Board of Peace was originally created as a limited body overseeing the reconstruction of Gaza, but its charter doesn't mention the Palestinian territory.
You know that the Board of Peace, established by your so-called president, Donald Trump, and America is the one that supplied Israel with the weaponry in order to destroy the Palestinians and remove them off the land. Remember, that war was initiated by Gaza or the Palestinians. It was the Israeli settlers that they called them, I'll say invaders, that came over there and they took the land by force, just like they took every other land. But all of a sudden, America's the one that started the war. They killed over 60,000, 65,000 men, women, and children, decimated and committed genocides right before our eyes. And then America comes as the hero that they proclaim to be. Dun, 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 dun. Clark Kent comes to save the day. He says, we stopped the war. And the funny thing about them stopping the war, or so-called stopping the war, you know how they stopped the war? Because there's nobody to war. They stopped it because they killed and genocide all the people, and there's nobody left to war. So now they say, we have successfully stopped the war. Now we're going to create a border feast for any internal conflicts to stop it from happening again, and then we're going to rebuild Gaza. But that's the real agenda. America rules by force. Daniel 8, verse 25. Come on.
Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. And through his policy
His policy is going to his politics, his democracy. Come on.
He shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
He shall cause craft to prosper in it. Well, you know what craft is? Secrecies, conspiracies. Why did they go to war? You ask yourself, why did America go to war with Baghdad or Iraq? In order to seize weapons of mass destruction, and then comes to find out that there was 4 Israelis dancing on top of the roof, and they were Mossad agents, that ones that initiated the war, or they'll say the speculations, like I said, it's only speculations. We can't go by. We don't have evidence or anything like that, but we know the white man is the devil, so we're going to go with that narrative. So the speculation is that it was Mossad that initiated the attack to go into the war with Iraq and Baghdad, overthrowing the president, what is it? Saddam Hussein. And they took the gold, they took the oil, as well as the drugs over there, whatever was over there. They took the resources over there and brought democracy there. Just like they did in Syria, and they do it to Israel. 9/11, and Netanyahu said that October 7th was Israel's 9/11. Israel being one of the most heavily guarded country in the world, to the point that one of the IDF soldiers made a statement saying that it's impossible for anybody to penetrate their security clearance or security borders or the Iron Dome. Not the Iron Dome, because they flew over it and they infiltrated it. They said that even if a mouse, the border has been triggered by mice or even cockroaches or birds flying through it, and the army or militia going there to stop it, or to find out and do investigations. So all of a sudden, they was able to do the intelligence, and Mossad being one of the, I'll say, most incredible intelligence agencies globally. And it was Palestinians under Hamas was able to penetrate the security defenses. Oh no, no. Keep going.
And through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
He shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. Come on.
And he shall magnify himself in his heart.
And we see that President Trump magnify himself, saying, I'm the one that stopped the war. Come on.
And by peace.
And by what?
Peace.
And that's why they formed what is called a board of peace. Bible prophecy being fulfilled. And by peace, come on.
Shall destroy many.
And by peace, they shall destroy many people. Have they not destroyed many people by peace? Yes, they did. They said, we got to stop the war, and we have to retrieve the hostages, and we got to rid out Hamas. They destroyed many. How many? Get that. You had a map up there showing how many people they killed. And by peace, the democracy, they shall destroy many. How many people did they destroy?
At least 71,660 Palestinians have been killed, with thousands still under the rubble.
And by peace, they shall destroy many. Now, let's get the next video. With the woman. Come on, play it. It's not playing. Come on, bring it up again.
Countries that are part of President Trump's newly formed Board of Peace also preparing for their first official working session as tensions do flare in the Middle East. Representatives from roughly 30 countries will meet next week to discuss the next steps to rebuild the Gaza Strip. The board includes 8 Muslim countries from the region, which Trump says would not have been possible without wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities.
If we didn't take out that nuclear, we wouldn't have peace in the Middle East because the
Stop.
Arab countries could have never.
That's why the Bible says that he should lift himself up. He says, without us wiping out Iran's nuclear, and first and foremost, they didn't wipe out Iran's nuclear. Iran was, and it's, America, they can't, the white man, so-called white man, Edom, can't stop lying. Right. Iran got a tip way in advance. Everybody, Iran was a superpower. Is a superpower and was once called the Persian Empire. It wasn't until the 1900s that it was changed from Persia to Iran. I'll say it again. It was until recently they was changed to Iran, but they was known as the Persian Empire. So now, play it again. Play on.
That nuclear, we wouldn't have peace in the Middle East because the Arab countries could have never done that. They were very, very afraid of Iran.
But Iran was the one that was commissioning Hezbollah and Hamas. Yep. Iran was fighting, I forgot they called it a proxy war. Iran was the one that was funding a lot of these militia groups or these freedom fighter groups because Iran understood, and they was helping out because they understood that Israel was the problem within the Middle Eastern area. Come on, play.
They're not afraid of Iran anymore.
Reports do show next week's meeting will also serve as a fundraiser of sorts, with countries expected to pledge donations toward Gaza's reconstruction. Trump's Middle East peace agreement designates Gaza as a special economic zone that will prioritize private sector investments.
Stop. That's what I want. Gaza, now give me the next one. Trump's son-in-law, Kushner, pitches $112 billion. So they're going to fund it, and they're going to have investors fund the Gaza Strip and the private sector in order to put up, I would say, different building plans and architectural designs for the future of Gaza as an economic cash cow. Come on.
In Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. But I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterward. The thing that I would try to do if I was Israel right now is I would just bulldoze something in the Negev. I would try to move people in there. I know that won't be the popular thing to do, but I think that that's a better option to do so you can go in and finish the.
Now, you have Jared Kushner, Amalek. I'll say Jared Kushner, Amalek. And Netanyahu is on the board of peace. The plans is under Jared Kushner, which is a developer, a real estate developer, is planning to create, I'll say, towers and resorts and properties on the Gaza Strip. For who? Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. It's the same game plan. Come on.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
So we call the so-called white man. The white man is not white. He's red. Comes from Edom. Esau means wasted away in sea. And the so-called Europeans or white people today that we know as Caucasians that came from the Caucasus Mountains between Russia and Georgia, whether it be French, Dutch, British, Russian, Ukrainian, American, Italian, Irish, they all are descendants from Esau, Edom. Come on.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
The dwellings of Esau and their children shall be the fatness of the earth. Meaning they'll take the prime real estate, the best locations and countries. They'll genocide the people, wipe them off of the land, and take the resources of the land and take the land where it's most beautiful, waterfronts, where they could develop real estate and properties and hotels and resorts in order to bring more money and fund into the economy so America be the economic driving country that it is today, as well as Israel. Come on.
Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
They'll dwell in the best places of the earth, and Gaza Strip being an oil reserve and being on a beachfront, they can use that as a resort area to earn money. Come on.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
Come on.
And by thy sword.
And by thy sword
shalt thou live.
That's how they'll get Gaza Strip. By genocide, by massacre and murdering. By thy sword shalt thou live. Come on.
And shalt serve thy brother.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass.
That's all I want. Get me 2 Thessalonians, last scripture, chapter 5, verse 1.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1.
Come on.
But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Paul says it. You have no need that I write unto you, for you know the day of the Lord. It's going to come in a time that you're going to be least expected. Come on.
For when they shall say peace and safety.
When they shall say what?
Peace and safety.
When President Trump in America, the forerunners of the genocide nations, when they shall say peace and what?
Safety.
When they say we have established peace on this earth, when we develop and establish the board of peace, and now the citizens in the Middle East now are in safety because we destroyed Iran's nuclear power facility. We destroyed Hamas, Hezbollah. Peace and safety, come on.
Then sudden destruction cometh upon them.
Then sudden destruction cometh upon them. Why sudden destruction? Because the very people that you massacred and genocide, you kicked out of the land, are the same people that you're not allowing back in the land. What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to sit there and watch you take their land, kill their kids, their women and children, and then live deliciously off of them? No. Peace and safety, then sudden destructions. Best believe it that the Arabs and Arabians are conspiring together secretly how they're going to kill you and overthrow you. Best believe that the Iranian is conspiring secretly how they're going to overthrow you and unalive you. I got to use the word unalive because these guys are going to block me. You have not only that, because they said that the board of peace is going to be utilized to replace the EU or the European Union, as well as NATO. You think that NATO, and none of the board members in NATO is joining the board of peace because it's a conflict of interest. What do you think is going to happen? The North American Alliance Treaty Organization was formed in order for them to share resources, military secrets, weaponry, technology, and to keep the union between the European allies or Edomite nations after the World War II. And America is the one that's breaking it up. And America is the one that's putting sanctions on a lot of these countries that America banned, kicked out the countries. A lot of these countries that America bombed, some of them are on the board of peace. What do they say? Keep your friends.
You don't find that suspicious?
No. It's closer. Don't think that these people on the board of peace are friends with America. They go on to know what America's doing. Keep your enemies closer. Best believe, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. America's on its way out, and we're fulfilling prophecy, or the Bible is speaking louder than it's ever spoke. That's the end of today's Breaking the Seals of Prophecies. And now, on to the next segment, Level Up.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airwaves, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.